We've all played a racing game with our friends at some point. There's just something about chasing each other at high speeds, doing crazy tricks off ramps, or telling your friend in first place that they're about to not be because you just sent a blue shell their way. Nintendo, please don't sue me. I want players to have similar experiences in my game, so I decided to add a new race game mode. By the way, if you're new here, I'm xzippyzachx, and I'm making a multiplayer first-person action shooter game with a variety of different game modes. Wishlist Xmode now on Steam. Traditionally, when you think of racing games or game modes, you think of fast cars, right? Well, I want Xmode's racing game mode to be a bit different and unique. That's why the vehicle of choice in Xmode's racing is an electric unicycle, also known in short form as an EUC. Sons of the Forest, which is the game you're seeing footage of right now, also has an EUC vehicle, which I'm definitely using as inspiration for Xmode's EUC. This unique vehicle allows for some unique movement. It'll also allow race courses to be built on existing Xmode maps that were not designed for larger vehicles to race around them. I wanted to make the movement feel like you're riding an EUC, while also requiring practice and skill to master the movement. So let's go ahead and program some EUC movement. Well, this doesn't seem right. Ah, yes, there we go. So the PC controls are W and S to move forward and reverse, and to steer you actually use the mouse to look left or right. At first you might think this is weird, but with practice it actually feels really good. Since the steering is controlled by the mouse, the actual movement direction lags slightly behind the direction you're facing. This leads to the steering feeling slightly delayed, as if you're drifting, which actually feels really good and adds an extra level of skill required to master the EUC movement. Next, I modeled an EUC in Blender and brought it into Unity. At this stage, I noticed that the player seemed to be really static while riding, so I decided to add some leaning animation. Yeah, that's not right. Neither does this. Aha, there we go, leaning. And this is what the final movement looks like. Now that I had the EUC movement working well, it was time to make the race courses to actually ride them through. For this, I made a new game mode which handles a checkpoint system. Each map has a race course made up of multiple checkpoints that you navigate through in order to make it to the final checkpoint. 3, 2, 1, go! We also experimented with some custom settings in the race game mode, which allowed players to have weapon items, which made for some interesting races. So that's the new race game mode. I think it turned out great, and it will be interesting to see who can get the fastest times on each race course. I've also been working on a new space station map. I had a general idea for how I wanted the map to look, so I started by making some sketches. Yes, I know my sketching is terrible, but it was good enough to get a general map layout. The idea was to have 3 main station sections that are connected by bridges and jump pads. For this map, I've also been inspired by other games that are set in space like Alien Isolation, Star Citizen, and recently Starfield. Of course, Xmode's art style is low poly, and I'm not a very good level designer, so my map won't be nearly as detailed as these other games. Here's a quick look at the new Space Station map's progress. As you can see, the map doesn't have color or texture yet, but the general layout and most prop placement is complete. One cool aspect of this map is that the interior areas have normal gravity, but if we go outside, the exterior areas have low gravity. We've already playtested this map a few times and it seems to play well so far. With some more playtesting, color texturing, and final tweaks, the map will be finished. Let me know what you think of the new Space Station map by leaving a comment below that like button. One thing that many people forget when making a video game, or any software really, is that not everyone knows your spoken language, or at least it might not be their first language. If I want Xmode to have a larger audience from parts of the world other than North America, I'm going to need to have it available in multiple languages. That's why language localization exists. Localization in software development is basically making your application translatable to multiple different languages. To do this in Xmode, I'm using the Unity localization package to do most of the heavy lifting. But here's a simple explanation of how this is achieved. Every word, sentence, or phrase is represented by a unique key. These keys act as placeholders for these phrases throughout the software's codebase. Then, during runtime, these keys are swapped with the actual text value of the phrase in the currently selected language. Here's what the lookup table looks like for Xmode's translations in Google Sheets. You can see each phrase's key is in the first column, followed by the corresponding text values in each supported language. Unity's locale package then handles importing this data from Google Sheets and generating locale files for each language. For any static UI text in a TextMesh Pro component, it's as easy as adding a localized string event component to the same game object and selecting the key corresponding with the phrase. And any text injected via code is handled by a custom function I wrote to retrieve the phrase's translated string value for a given key. If we look in-game, you can see that the current language is set to English. But if I change it to Spanish, you can see that now all the text is in Spanish. To start, I'm planning for Xmode to support these languages, and I really only know English, so if you know any of these languages well and are willing to help translate Xmode, make sure to let me know on my Discord server. The layout of the lobby has slightly changed. The team selection areas have been removed for now since they were never really used. A new Ready Up vote has been added. Previously you had to wait a full 30 seconds for the next game to start, but now if everyone votes ready, the game will start right away. Can I have your attention please? Yes, everybody look up here, yes. So here's the deal. If you want to start the game, each of you first needs to pay me a 20-cent fee. Players now have spawn protection, which prevents them from taking damage after they respawn for 5 seconds or until they start attacking. The death UI now displays your killer's Steam icon and how much health they had left. That's it for this update video. Click on the playlist in the end card to watch all my other update videos. I hope you liked this update video and I hope to see you in my next one. Until then, thanks for watching. Zippy out.